Hey there, it's BoardGameDave. Happy New Year and welcome to my 2023 recap of board games. Now, last year I logged 537 plays of 165 different games, 90 of which were new to me. So I was actually averaging learning a new game every 4 days last year, which is kind of insane. Now, that probably sounds like a whole lot of board game to you, and it is, but also, as far as time spent playing games, like the hours I spent playing board games, that was actually the least gaming I've done since I started tracking my stats in VG Stats since 2020. But to be fair, Hannah and I got married, we bought a house, we renovated an entire apartment. There's been a lot going on, so the gaming has slowed down a tiny bit, but still, lots of gaming this past year. In 2023, I played board games with over 180 different people in 40 different locations, but I also did a fair amount of solo gaming. I logged 88 solo plays, which is a bit lower than my last year of 108 solo plays. I also added 30 games to my collection this year, although I did only buy 14 of them. The rest of them were gifts or review copies or prototypes or things like that. But let's talk about some of these games. So the first game I played in 2023 was Stone Age with Hannah, which seems very appropriate. It's one of our favorite two-player games. And the last game I played in 2023 was a recent obsession of mine. It's called Sea Salt and Paper with Gary and Beth and Hannah and her sister Rachel. The shortest game I played last year was called Kabuto Sumo. I played it at Origins and it only took us 5 minutes to play through. The longest game, on the other hand, that I played last year was called Impression, a big old Euro game about the printing press or whatever. It took us 3 hours and 49 minutes to get through for a 4-player game. Oof. My most played game of 2023 by times played was a very simple game called Cluster, which I played 36 times this year. It's a very straightforward game in which you've got a number of magnets, and the first person to run out of magnets wins. On your turn, you take one of your magnets, place it inside this ring on the table, and if during your turn any magnets clack together, you take them, it sets you back. That's it, you play till someone runs out of magnets. It's so easy to teach, so simple to play. This was such a hit this year. I played it with so many people, introduced them to Cluster. It's awesome. Only behind by 1 play was Shifting Stones with 35 plays, an amazing game. We bought 3 copies this year, some as gifts, some for ourselves. It is just brilliant. I love this game. Glass Road I played 20 times, and then Legacy of You was in 4th place with 14 plays. My most played game by time spent playing it was Glass Road with a total of 17 hours spent playing this game, which is really impressive. I do love this game. Honorable mentions go to Lukrembo with 14 hours, Legacy of You with 11 hours, and Shifting Stones with 10 hours played. My favorite 2023 release, which I just got a few weeks ago, is Brussels 1893 Belle Epoque. Now, this is a game I found out about recently through Daniel at the Game Table on Instagram. He was posting so much about it because he got it back at Gen Con, and I was enthralled by the art and the mechanisms and the gameplay. It just looked so fascinating, and I literally was like absolutely obsessing about it. I watched every review video I could find on YouTube. I watched playthroughs. I read through the rulebook, the old one and the new one, and I just am captivated by this game. Now, big caveat, I have not played it with other people yet. I played it solo using a solo variant I found online for the older edition. So, you know, big asterisk, I haven't played a multiplayer, so I'm gonna reserve judgment, but as of right now, this is absolutely my biggest, most favorite 2023 release thus far. My favorite new to me game of 2023 was actually a fairly old game that came out in 2013 called Glass Road. Again, an amazing game by Uwe Rosenberg. In this game, you are managing a hand of cards. Each card does something a little bit different, and it's extremely interactive as you try to play woodcutters, but another player plays woodcutter and that messes you up, but it can help you if they play it on their turn. It's actually, for a Euro game like this, highly not random, but other players and what they do on their turn can really impact your game, and the solo mode is equally unpredictable and compelling. I love this game, and I'm so glad I finally discovered it. I feel like, you know, obviously in the hobby, Uwe Rosenberg is a huge name with games like Caverna, Hallertau, Agricola, Feast for Odin, but this one just doesn't get enough attention, and I think that it is way up there with some of his absolute greatest games. I mean, I think it's my second favorite Rosenberg game. So anyway, Glass Road, absolutely my favorite find new to me game of last year. I have a two-way tie for my favorite solo experience of 2023, the first one being Legacy of You. This is such a great, compact, easy to set up, very low rule set, solo only campaign. It's fantastic. It's a deck builder, it's a worker placement, it's kind of an engine building game where you unlock abilities and new workers, and at the end of every game, you add in new cards and new game mechanisms that keep the game interesting, and I love the way the game auto balances the difficulty based on whether you're doing well or not so well, and I really enjoyed my whole campaign experience through those 14 plays. Now, would I be super eager to jump into another campaign of it? Maybe not right now, but give it a year or two, and I think I would very eagerly jump into playing the campaign all the way through again. My other top favorite solo experience of 2023 was Glass Road. This is such a brilliant game by Uwe Rosenberg. It's resource management, it's tile placement, it's card management, hand activation. It's such a clever game. I love it. And I should point out that the solo mode is greatly enhanced on BGG using those solo challenges. So every month they come up with a scripted, basically solo setup where everybody's playing the exact same tiles and trying to get the best score. And then at the end of the month, you share your score. That makes the game so much more compelling because you're turning a solo gaming experience into a social, almost competitive experience, and I find that really, really fun. So Glass Road and Legacy of You, fantastic solo games I played last year. My favorite game going into 2024 is still A Feast for Odin by Uwe Rosenberg. It is an amazing game, worker placement, Viking themed game. It cannot be beat. Now, is that going to change this year? There's a possibility that it will, and honestly, it's almost become a reflex where when people ask what my favorite game is, I just say A Feast for Odin. So, and I only played it once in 2023, but hopefully I'll play it more this coming year, and I love A Feast for Odin. So, as of right now, it's still my all-time number one. Maybe it'll get dethroned in 2024. We'll have to wait and see. My least favorite game of 2023 was, and I actually scrolled through all 500 plus plays on my phone to find a game that I remembered as being like not terribly great, was Blood on the Clock Tower, which I played with Mike from Board Games for One and some other people at Origins Game Fair this past summer. Now, that's not to say I didn't have fun. I enjoyed my time. It was a hour or so well spent. I like the people I played the game with. I just am not one for social deduction games. I just didn't understand it, and maybe I'm just too stupid to understand these kind of games, but there's these mind games and reverse psychology, and I'm the baker, but I gotta act like I'm the butcher because the butcher can do this ability. It was way beyond me, and maybe, again, maybe the teach just went right over my head, but I had no idea what I was doing or what the point was. Again, that's more my fault than the game's fault, but my least favorite game of last year was Blood on the Clock Tower. And now for my biggest surprises of 2023. The first being a game called Deception Murder in Hong Kong. So Connor and me and some other guys played this at his house, and it's like a social deduction game. It's a murder mystery, and some of the people are investigators, but one person is the actual murderer, and you're trying to act like you are helping with the investigation. Not my kind of game, and I found it extraordinarily fun and compelling and captivating and strategic. It was a blast, and the second time I think I was the murderer, and that was just so much, even more fun than the first game, and I just was so surprised that I had so much fun playing a murder mystery social deduction game, which again, not usually my cup of tea. Big surprise number 2 was a game called Ascension Tactics. This is a game I played with Jesse of Quackalope. He taught me the game, and we just kept playing this game over and over. We would end a game, and then we'd be like, all right, switch sides, let's reset and play it again. And we played, I think we might have stayed up till like 1 or 2 in the morning playing this game because it was so much fun. And again, not my type of game. I'm pretty much a Euro gamer. That's where I tend to fall as far as my tastes go. And this was like, troops on a map, area control, area majority, fighting, combat, ranged attacks, like all this stuff that's not in my normal wheelhouse. And I had such a great time with it. It was really, really fun. So another big surprise of 2023. And my last big surprise of the past year was a game called Archaeos Society. So you might have heard about this game. This is basically a reprint of a game called Ethnos, and they rethemed it to be, instead of like, what would you say, like wizards and dragons and trolls and orcs and stuff, you are different paleontologists or archaeologists, and you're going off and discovering, ancient cultures and things like that. So totally different theme and slightly different game. The big surprise to me was, after many hours of research and reading through the rulebook and obsessing about this game and finally getting it, I played it twice. And it kind of just, I think I played it twice, and it just kind of flopped. Like, there was just nothing compelling about it. And it was kind of a big letdown, because when I buy a game, I've done, like I just said, tons of research. I'm watching, reviews and playthroughs and reading through the rules, so I know the rules when the game gets here. And there was just no spark. Now, maybe I just need to play it some more, but yeah, it was kind of a bummer. And then the same crew of us, plus a couple other guys, played Ethnos, and that was like a totally different experience. It was great. I really enjoyed Ethnos. I played it on BGA, really liked it. So I guess I prefer Ethnos, which again is a big surprise, because I'm not usually about the wizards and the trolls and the dragons, but somehow I liked it more than Arceus. Maybe because Ethnos has this map area thing, but you don't move on the map. It doesn't matter. That was my third surprise of this past year. But now let's talk about the 15 most notable 2023 releases I played this past year. Of course, I did not play every game that came out last year, but I played a bunch, and here's the top 15 as ranked on BGG, starting with Darwin's Journey, a game I was very excited to play. This was one I almost backed, but I finally didn't, based on kind of mixed reviews, but it's a great game. I think it's Luciani and maybe Tassini, designers I really enjoy. It's a heavy Euro game. There's a lot going on, and it is tight. I mean, it can be very frustrating when you just don't have the one coin or one worker you need to pull off your big strategy, but it's very good. I enjoyed my play of it a lot. Next was Earth. I made a whole review video for Earth. Really great game. I thought it was overhyped, but it is very good. It's resource management, it's tableau building, it's got similarities to Wingspan, it's got that nature theme. It's really good. You can play it on Board Game Arena, is where I did most of my playing of Earth. Very good game. You can check out my review down there. Third, the Star Wars deck building game. I have it right here. I got this for Hannah. She's actually more of a Star Wars fan than I am, so it's very good. It's not terribly original. It's not breaking any barriers or whatever. It's actually very familiar if you've played Star Realms, but still a really good game. And it's got some interesting quirks and interesting ideas, but more or less it's Star Realms, but with an IP. So that's Star Wars, the deck building game. Expeditions is the smaller, compact version of Scythe, I guess. Still takes a pretty long time to get through, but I enjoyed it a lot. Now, it can't compare to Scythe for me. Scythe is my number 3 favorite game of all time, I think. I adore Scythe. So Expeditions is like Scythe Light. It's fine. I like it. I had a good time with it, but it's no Scythe. Legacy of You is my number 5, or BGG's number 5, I should say. It's actually one of my favorite solo games. I already talked about Legacy of You a lot. It's fantastic, great, compact, simple, easy setup, easy teardown, easy replayability, awesome solo games. Fantastic, very low maintenance solo experience, and a single player only campaign. I love it. Point City. I got Point City at PAX and played it for the first time there. It's right there underneath Point Salad. It's good. Again, I just talked about it recently. It didn't blow my mind, but I haven't played it that much yet, so maybe as I play it more, I'll find more nuances. It's pretty good. It's, I like it more than Point Salad, but I wonder if it's in that weird zone of it's not quite a family game, but it's not quite robust enough to be like a medium weight game. I don't know. The Fox Experiment. I talked about it already. I love the Fox Experiment. I talked about it more in my PAX recap video, but there's just something so fun about naming your own fox and rolling dice to find out what traits it has, and then that fox goes back into, the pool of available foxes for the next round, and other people can use that fox to breed, a even more docile, domesticated fox. Such a good game. Great mechanisms, tons of dice rolling. It's random, but mitigatable and absolutely splendid. And it's really fast. I think it only took us like an hour to play. I've played it 3 times now, and the one night we played it 2 times back to back. That's how quick it is, and it just grips you. Like, we just wanted to play it again. So that's the Fox Experiment, one of my favorite games from last year. After Us is a game about monkeys, 4 different types of monkeys, and the cards do something very similar to the Fox Experiment's dice, actually, where one of the cards might have half of an icon, half of a resource, let's say, and then you can take another card and put them together and you'll get the combination of those resources. So on your turn, it's kind of a deck building game. You'll be arranging the cards that you draw to get the best combination of resources. It's kind of hard to explain, but you'll use that to get better monkeys, and I forget what else you do, but it's deck building, it's monkeys, really good game. Next is Everdell Far Shore. I've got it right down here. You can't see it? Yes, you can. Far Shore's pretty good. It's very expensive, and it's not an Everdell killer by any means for me. So if you are huge in Everdell, check it out. But it's certainly not necessary, and it's very, very, very similar to Everdell. I'll be reviewing that shortly. There's a solo playthrough you can check out on the channel already. Archaeo Society, I talked about already. I have it right here. It's okay. I think I like Ethnos more. Again, it's very surprising to me, but I think I like Ethnos more. Steam Up, A Feast of Dim Sum. Really cute game. The components in the Kickstarter deluxe version are insanely nice. Insanely nice. There's, was it Phoenix feet and dumplings and like rice paper and stuff, or seaweed paper or whatever. It's great. The gameplay I thought was pretty good. It you know, didn't blow my mind, but it's good. It's cute. It's great components. Really good game. Mycelia from Ravensburger. This is such an adorable, amazing game. It's cute. It's wonderful. It's whimsical. And you know, when I first got this game, so Ravensburger sent me this game, and I didn't know what to expect. It says ages 9 and up. I thought, you know, cute kids game, family game, you know, didn't really think anything of it. But Hannah and I have played this a lot. It is just such a good game. You are using your cards. It's a deck builder game. You're using your cards to take your dewdrops. You probably can't see this, but move your dewdrops to the portal. Once they reach the portal, they go to the shrine of the goddess, and whoever gets rid of their dewdrops first wins. And the cards that you accumulate by spending leaves are going to give you more powerful abilities to get rid of dewdrops faster. It's really good. It's much more, again, robust than you would think from the cover. So very cute game. Next in the BGG rankings is Hickory Dickory. This is a really cute game where there's these mice and they're kind of traveling with the hour and minute hand of a clock from, you know, clockwise around the clock. And then along the way, you're going to hop off of the arms of the clock to gather resources or go up the chain of the clock, the pendulum, or some other kinds of things. I don't remember too much about it. It's been a while, but you're collecting resources to complete like contracts or missions or whatever. That's about as much as I remember. I think I only played it once, but I remember liking it, but not my favorite game from last year. Next is the Lord of the Rings adventure book game, again sent to me from Ravensburger. This is a very, very light, very accessible, easy to teach cooperative game, and it's again a deck building game where you're going to be drawing basically, I think, 4 different suits of cards, and you're going to use those suits to complete different like missions and quests and tasks to get you from point A to point B in the story of Lord of the Rings. And because it's an adventure book game, the book is the board. So it's going to take you, I think, through 7 scenarios from like the Shire to the Mines of Moria, and you're going to see the Balrog, and Gandalf has to go this way to defeat Gandalf, and to defeat, what did I just say? To defeat the Balrog. So as you play your cards, you'll be, again, defeating Balrogs or attacking orcs or whatever. Really, really simple gameplay, but it's worth checking out. And then finally on the BGG rankings is Brussels 1893 Belle Epoque, which again I have right here. I am so stoked to play this with more people. I think it probably shines best at 4 players, so I'm hoping to get some guys together to play this game sometime soon, and I will report back when I do. So I am so excited about this game. But there you go. Those are the 15, again, most notable games I played that were released last year. And finally, the conventions I attended in 2023. So I only went to 2 this past year, but I was at Origins Game Fair in Ohio, and I was just at PAX Unplugged in Philly. Now, the first convention I'll be going to in 2024, though, is Level Up Retreat in Woodbridge, New Jersey from February 2nd to the 4th. You should absolutely consider coming for sure if you're in the area. You can find a link to the site in the description down below, and you can use a promo code called BoardGameDave to get 20 or 10% off your standard badge. So I'll be there as a VIP. Thank you to Alex Radcliffe for that badge. And I am so excited. So it's coming up very soon, within less than a month. So get your badges, come to VIP, level up retreat, and hopefully I'll see you there. And in the meantime, have a wonderful week. Take care. Happy New Year, and I'll talk to you soon. And happy gaming. Bye.